He has saved somebody from the water and bounces back up, but it's a rope. It's not a bungee. It's a rope.
Costner.
And then the three jet skis all just hit each other and explode. It's the pinnacle of 90s action climaxes.
What a gnarly movie to work on, too. Jeez Louise, with all the salt water and budget going over.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that's why Renny Harlin is so brilliant. Because they went to the Baja Fox Studios where Titanic had just filmed, and they knew they didn't want to shoot out on the ocean because of corrosion, waves, inclement weather. So they were able to control everything in Fox's Baja Studios. That was used, they got a good rate because they needed to fill it because Titanic, nothing else was going there. And because of that, they were able to get a ton of sharks footage. They didn't have to worry about the ocean or mechanical sharks breaking down. So Harlan and the producers were very smart, man. They learned from Waterworld. They learned from Jaws. They kind of ripped off, well, not kind of ripped, they ripped off Jurassic Park. I mean, they kill Sam Jackson in surprising ways, right? There's a storm. There's genetic testing.
There's a lot of, this is basically Jurassic Park at sea, because it's, as you say, genetic testing on animals or that have been around since the time of the dinosaurs. It's a skeleton crew because there's a storm, so everyone's leaving the island. There's a big storm which they can't get out. People die one by one.
Kitchen action scene.
Kitchen action. One of the best kitchen action scenes.
There's a limb loss. Sam Jackson loses a limb. Stellan skateboard loses a limb.
Yeah. There's a helicopter at one point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities.
I started breaking down the similarities and I was like, oh crap. But then I thought about
there's no kids in this one, so there's a step above Jurassic Park in that way.
And it's R-rated too, right? It just goes for it.
Yeah. And no one gets eaten on the toilet, which is a shame.
And it doesn't. Oh, that'd be amazing. Jeez, imagine
that. That's my kind of my possible hole in your theory of the sharks. Is why do they go after Preacher?
Well, I mean, Preachers they respect Preacher. They like Preacher. Like he's not responsible for it.
I get they have to flood that stairwell, but they could just flood it and then leave him alone.
Well, they just wanted to chase him to open up other doors.
Yeah, I suppose he needs to be there to save them later on, to help them up their shaft. They're coming up.
This is like a huge plan. I'm telling you, dude, Kaiser Soze.
Been months in the planning. But, okay, here's the thing. The plan relies on the winch in the helicopter breaking.
Alright, so the thing is,
the sharks couldn't have broken that.
I have a feeling the shark was about to jump out of the water because Mako sharks have been known to clear 12 feet. And these are genetically modified sharks. So I think the shark was about to do it. And because you didn't see it. So I think it went all the way down and was getting ready to jump up to take it with it. I was actually watching videos of Mako sharks jump, and it's insane. It was about to do it, and then it dropped and went, hell yeah.
Phew, I can save me some swimming. Dinner's coming to me.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my theory.
Okay. I was half expecting you to say, the sharks, they've got a toolkit. They went on there, they sabotaged the helicopter. That's why the shark escaped at the start. He didn't go straight to the boat. He went via the Coast Guard rescue, sabotage the helicopter just in time.
Well, do you remember the seagull in the beginning?
I don't.
Well, they had talked to the seagull and sent him to that helicopter where it kind of did some work on the winch.
They're in league with Scuttle. Okay.
Yeah. or with Steven Seagal from
Gift Shallows.
Yeah. And so I think it was about to jump and grab it. That's what I think the plan was, because it had seen planes. Because earlier, Dr. Susan McAllister, I like saying the whole name, and Samuel Jackson, Russell Franklin, they fly in. So it knows that vehicles come in and out. And it's just waiting. It knows. And it also bit off the arm. It did a good job. It didn't go that high. It didn't get, it could have done a lot worse.
It bit off enough to injure but not kill, because they needed the helicopter to come.
Mm-hmm. And then it was
if he bit him clean in half, there's no surviving that. There's really no rush at that point. It just needs to wound.
Yeah. So the aim on that shark is pretty incredible. It was just waiting. And it would have done it, I think. If anything, it just would have whacked somebody with its tail, or it would have broke somebody's bones. It was going to hurt somebody in there.
It just happened to be Jim.
Yeah. Jim. I'm God Whitlock.
He has just a gnarly death. Of horror movie deaths, his is horrendous.
Like the Saw movies really ripped off this. I'm joking, but I mean, he gets his arm bit off. He gets dragged. He has oxygen tank on his mouth.
So he's going to be alive underwater.
And then he's used to crack the thing where he had just come from. That's a great death. Like, that's...
It's great, but it's awful.
I mean, but just... I know this went through a lot of script changes. This started off as kind of like an action-y type thing with like rocket launchers and like weird government kind of stuff. And then Donna Powers, Wayne Powers took over. Then Renny had his suggestions. But I don't know, man. I think it's pretty cool. I love it all. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I didn't. The first time I saw this, I had it ruined for me.
Oh.
The Sam Jackson scene became like famous when it was out on DVD. So I went around to my neighbor's house, to Simon Postlethwaite's house, to go to name and shame him. And he's like, "You got to see this. You got to see this scene." And he just fast forwarded straight to the Sam Jackson death scene.
Oh.
And he's like, "Watch this. This guy's gonna die." And to watch the scene, he dies. He's like, "Yeah, that would have been great to have kind of been a nice surprise. Thanks, Simon." It wasn't until a few years later that I actually watched the whole film, and I liked it. And every time I watch it, I like it more. And that Sam Jackson monologue is, I think, my favorite monologue from a film that doesn't involve terrorizing a child with a velociraptor claw. I love it. Yeah. You think water's fast, you just see ice.
They made it perfectly, like, purposely pompous. They're like, we want it to be like a silly speech. And so the speech it's so over the top, but they did it on purpose, which is another reason I think it's a good movie.
We're going to steal off this pool.
The shark did not want to hear that.
No. I was like, wait a minute, hang on, don't give him ideas.
Yeah. So I think everyone's heard this a lot, but I was working in a theater when this came out. And I would sneak into the theater just to hear people yelling. Like, people, this movie with inflation made $130 million. It's an R-rated original movie. At the time, it made about 70. But it was sandwiched in between Sixth Sense, Blair Witch, Runaway Bride, The Haunting. All these movies made over $150 million. It was sandwiched, American Pie.
99 was a hell of a year.
Yeah, hell of a year. And I was working in a theater, dude. And I worked in two of them. I had like an AMC 8 and another AMC 6. And we would just sell out every movie. People just come out. Blair Witch would be sold out, so they go to someone else. My best friends, Runaway Bride was sold out. They go somewhere else. Phantom Menace was sold out. But I would sneak into this theater, and people were just high-fiving. People were laughing for minutes afterwards. At the end, everyone was just screaming, "Go LL," but no one knew Thomas Jane's name. So, like, they were just kind of like, they were like, "Go, guy!" Like, go away! Like, no one like knew what this.
Go, Carter Blake.
Yeah. No one knew TJ then, but people were just cheering, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in a theater. So I just loved it. And then I went and I bought the DVD for like $28. I still have the original packaging on it. But I don't know, man, it's good. And then I wrote that article, and then that's why I got interviewed for Wired. So this movie has, I don't know, it's been good to me, I guess. So I have this big affinity for it. So even though I'm an adult 37-year-old man, whenever someone says it sucks, I get kind of pissed.
And a lot of people do. You go on IMDb, it's got a 5.8 out of 10, which is criminal.
Well, I think do you think it's one of these movies where people just think, it's good, it's so bad, it's good? Do you think people think that?
I think a lot of people do think that. I mean, it's been covered on How Did This Get Made, and watching it now, the CGI doesn't hold up.
Bad.
The model work does. The animatronics are great, but some of the CGI is, my wife described it as the worst CGI she's ever seen, which I think is not fair, or she should watch more terrible films. But it's, if they'd remade it today, just updated the CGI and did everything else identical, it'd be a perfect film. Like, no changes required.
I just think the perception of it, right? But you read all these lists and everyone loves Samuel Jackson's death. I mean, everyone, and I don't know, it has some big supporters. Stephen King said it's one of the best horror films he's seen since 99.
Brian Ebert loved it as well.
Yeah, Ebert. Oh, he was awesome. He's like, it keeps you guessing. And Brian Raftery for Wired said it was the best shark movie. But he said Jaws is more of like a human movie, and it's unfair to put Jaws in so I'm writing an article where what's the best shark movie that's not Jaws? Because if you do a list, yeah, exactly. If you do a list,
I don't even know what would be second.
And
this.
Well, do you want me to tell you?
Maybe.
Do you want me to tell you what I did?
What did you do?
All right, so I knew any list with Jaws, right, is going to be. You just have, like, if you have a shark movie list and Jaws isn't number one, it's a waste of time, right? Because you're just trying to make a cheeky point. The guy on
Finding Nemo. There we go. That's what's second.
Is that a shark movie?
There's sharks in it.
Yeah. See, I'm doing like shark movie.
I suppose Shark Tale is more of a shark movie, but that's a terrible shark movie.
Yeah, live action shark movies.
Okay.
And so what I did was I got Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, Jaws Revenge, Deep Blue Sea, The Reef, Bait 3D, Open Water, The Shallows, 47 Meters Down, which has a great flare scene, by the way, The Meg, and Shark Night. And I set up 9 categories: Rotten Tomatoes score, Metacritic score, IMDb score, domestic box office, the amount of sharks, how many are in it, the kill count, how many people do the sharks kill. I'm not counting sharks.
You're counting birds?
I didn't count the bird, but that's a kill.
I feel like you should.
Yeah, that's a kill. And I had shark screen time, and then best shark, and then best kill.
So I noticed you skipped the Sharknado franchise.
Yeah, I kind of did theatrical because I needed box office.
That's absolutely fine. And if any of those films were to win, then I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah, they're terrible. And they have Dolph Lundgren in it, and he's not front kicking a shark, so it's just a waste of time.
Does he front kick a dolphin?
He eats a dolphin.
Okay.
Like the clone from Multiplicity. The Michael Keaton clone. So the movie with the lowest amount of points wins, right? But so The Shallows and The Reef, they had 79% tomato meter scores, and those are the highest in the category, so they each got 1 point. Is what I'm going, like if it was a tie. Right. And then, so what I had, Bait 3D had 64 points, Shark Night had 57, Jaws 3D had 57, Jaws Revenge had 55, 47 Meters Down had 53, Open Water 52, The Reef 49, The Meg 39, Jaws 2 37, The Shallows 32, and Deep Blue Sea 21. And Deep Blue Sea had more points than Jaws. Jaws had 32 points. So...
You should include Jaws in this then as well.
Oh man, that would piss people off. I mean, I could, right?
Yeah. Are you adjusting for inflation in terms of box office? Even then, Jaws made a shit ton, didn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, I did all the math for Jaws, and yeah, it still doesn't beat Deep Blue Sea. It wouldn't even come close. Which is pretty odd. I have some, but even if Jaws is in here, people are gonna be like, you're stupid. I mean, you can't do it. But, I don't know, so what I set up was, I think my favorite of all these sharks was from The Shallows, because that's just a mean shark. No one would mistake the shark from The Shallows as, getting sharks wrong. I just like how mean it is. I don't know, what did you think about The Shallows?
I haven't seen it, actually.
I got it. I just love how mean it is. I love the Jaws 2 shark who has a burn on its face the entire time. I think the best kill is obviously Deep Blue Sea. The most sharks are Open Water. What are the other categories that I had? Shark screen time, it's Deep Blue Sea. There's over 10 minutes of sharks.
It's mostly. Yeah. I watched it last night, but I remember more sharks than humans.
Yeah,
that can't be the case, but
yeah, I had my phone out taping it, and then the Meg is second. There's a lot of Meg actually, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose so. You've got 2 sharks in there as well, so yeah.
So I mean, through all this, it was Deep Blue Sea taking first place, and I think the top 4 is actually really good. I love The Reef and Open Water, but they're kind of based on true stories. I dig 47 Meters Down. There's 2 really good shark moments in it, but I think the top 4 of Deep Blue Sea, The Shallows, Jaws 2, and The Meg. I think that works, because Jaws 2 made a ton of money. It has the same tomato meter score as Deep Blue Sea, and it has a shark chasing kids on catamarans. It's a good idea. Meg is hokey and fun. Shallows, I think, is really good. So...
I wanted the Meg to be hokier and more fun. A little too serious. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I wanted it to have been made with the same style as Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of approach to the humor of it.
I felt the same way when I was walking out of it. I guess time has made me less of a dork about it. But right though, it could have been Deep Blue Sea, right? But instead it was not.
Yeah. It's just a bit too serious.
Yeah. Statham can be funny too. Remember him in Lock, Stock, like you said, and Snatch?
Yeah. I love Statham. I'll watch him in anything.
Z German.
And he's finally playing a swimmer, this competitive diver from his youth. He's finally playing a swimmer, and he dives in water a couple of times. But just feel like there should be some reference to that, he's a failed diver who became a submarine repairman or whatever it was he did.
I wonder if he's embarrassed by that, because if everyone hears that he's a diver, they're going to think he's less of a fighter.
I don't know why he shouldn't think that. Divers have to be in incredible shape.
Yeah, you could snap your neck. I mean, I don't know. I just have weird theories. And also, he's a dancer too, man.
Yeah.
His music videos.
I haven't seen those, but okay.
Oh, wait. You haven't seen him in his dancing and music videos? He's
No, but I will be doing that later on today.
He's golden paint sprayed, and he's like in kind of like a diaper, not a diaper, but like a diving shorts, just dancing around the background of a very 90s music video.
Please excuse me whilst I go and YouTube some things.
Well, how about this? Let's take a break, watch that clip, and then we'll talk about more Deep Blue Sea.